both are starring in this upcoming holiday film, Unexpected Christmas. What drew you to this story? What about this film when you read the script, when you were pitched the project, excited you to the point where you were like, sign me up. I want to be part of this wonderful ensemble cast.
You know something? It was the script and the story and the plot. And so like I was offered Howie Bill, who's in the movie, played the uncle. That's the role I was offered actually. And I was like, well, who playing Richard? You know what I mean? And so I called Tabitha. I saw she was attached to it as an EP. Literally called her. I'm glad she picked up the phone. And she was busy probably at the time. Like, Tab, can I ask you something? Like, they ain't casted this yet. Why they ain't offer me this? And then that's when it turned into a whole nother conversation with our producer Trill, where that actually started the conversation saying, hey, I think this movie is bigger than what y'all think. Don't let the budget stop you from making this big. Let's trust God and let's just go out to people and ask. And so when you start like Rico Ross was attached to it, it became like this thing, Ring Gomez, like, whoa, this is about to be a thing. And we made this beautiful film because I'm gonna tell you something. It's something about starting with a group of people who truly are divinely connected through God and walking in this with faith. And that to me made this movie be something even more than what it was. And Tabitha bringing that Tabitha Brown energy, man. It's something about her calmness and like, well, let me make a call. Like
I'm
that,
still waiting on her to drop that Southern accent and start talking like she's from New York.
is she ain't from New York
I'm
though?
kidding. No, she's not.
Like, man, what? What did you just no? But Tabitha has this man, she brings this, I don't know how to describe it, that kind of leaks into everything else. And we were able to make this amazing project but that script was so good and the story was like, okay, this is something different and special.
Right on.
I'll, I'll piggyback off of what Rail said. It was a script. It all starts with the script usually, and if you've got a good script, at least you've got a good beginning. If you can cast it right and get a good director, and you have the budget to shoot it, then that's great. And then you have a chance to win. This is a team effort. All films are team efforts, and it comes down to the budget. It comes down to the crew. It comes down to all that. But and we, the actors, often get a lot of the attention. But it is definitely a team effort. But I'll say this about this film. This film, a lot of actors, myself included, often are chasing those big $100 million budget films. That's what we're hungry for. And a fellow actor came to me one day and he says, you really should start looking at independent films because a lot of times they don't have money, but they've got great ideas there and they have a lot of energy. And he changed my way. I started looking at these low budget films and these smaller indie films. And when this came across, I heard the same thing. Read the script, look at the script, look at what's here, what's on the page. And that got my attention. And then seeing that Tabitha was attached to it, I know Tabitha has a certain, quality level. So I thought, okay, we know that we're going to start at least here, and we'll see where it goes from there. I come on board. I think they had Anne Marie Holsford on board. Rails on board. I'm thinking we already got the squad now. We got these young people coming on board, and I just thought we can do something special with this film. And then it was only later that I find out that they've hooked up the soundtrack on. Listen, when you see this movie, when you see a Black Christmas movie, that's one thing. But when you see a Black Christmas movie with a soundtrack that's hitting, come on now, come on.
Black holiday movies. Some might say that black holiday movies are still rare in mainstream cinema. So, Rico, what does it mean to you to be a part of this celebration?
It is special. I've done, I think I've done five Christmas movies. I'm doing another one after this. This is the first one to be in theaters. And when I saw, we made this movie a year ago, so I had forgotten about it, gone to other projects. That's where my focus was. And then I come back to do the press for this, and we go to the premiere, and I see this movie for the first time with an audience in it. And Black audience, they will talk during the movie. I'm watching this movie and the laughter, I mean, like all at once from silence to like everybody. I'm thinking we got something here. And so to be a part of this movie going into theaters, it is a special time right now.
How would you describe your character's journey in this holiday chaos?
Some Richard is just trying to figure out some things. He really is. Like it just looked like a brother who, and that's just what I love about this movie. He comes from a successful family, right? And he doesn't necessarily want to lean into the lineage that's been passed to him. And so he's trying to find his own. And honestly, look, I tell people all the time, I don't think Richard was wrong for the situation. He didn't do it on purpose. He didn't know. So I don't know how anybody's up in arms about Richard when you see this movie. He didn't know. Y'all act like he did it on purpose. The brother didn't know.
But he's lucky as hell, though. I think I give him that much. I'll say this about this. I'll say this much about this film too. We were talking earlier about Boomerang. When Boomerang came out, some press were saying that it's not realistic because you see that many black people successful and not a white person. And this film, Laurel's character comes from I don't want to give too much away, but he comes from a family that's well-to-do. And this is different in our movies. We don't see this a lot. And he's not necessarily trying to grab that and choke onto that. He's trying to find his own what does he want to do? And Laurel was talking about it in the other interview that there's so many different subject matters to talk about in this movie. When you leave the theater, the movie's not going to stop there. I can tell you that. You're going to go home, and on your way home, you're going to be talking about these same issues that you saw in the movie. And I believe this movie, even though it's a black cast, it is going to resonate with anybody because Christmas is the same in a lot of houses. People don't understand. We have a lot more in common than we have in different. And these subject matters are human subject matters. They're going to be touching people no matter what your background is because they are human issues.
And they're going to be entertained. In this interview, I didn't say this in any interview yet, but look at what some of these movies are out doing now, right? They're almost complaining about how they're not doing well. And, critics love to hype things up. Sometimes it's not entertaining. This movie's actually, it has all this stuff happening and it's actually entertaining with great performances. You know, this is going to be, I think audiences is missing movie going experiences. Not when you tell us what the experience should be. We really want to experience that.
Mhm.
And I cannot wait for audiences to what we've seen with these screenings. I mean, hearing people laugh out loud and talk to the movies. I haven't seen that in so long. And I go to the movies all the time. I haven't seen that in so long. And so I'm actually excited to see what this movie does, even as an independent film, even if it's not in a great deal of theaters.
Mhm.
I still think we're about to make some noise and nobody won't see us coming.
And I'll say this too. When I was in college, I worked at a theater in Westwood, and Michelle Pfeiffer came in one day and sat at the back of the theater, and she watched Grease, and she watched the audience response to Grease. I've never done that, but I want to do that with this film. I want to go in the theater, sit in the back, and just watch this movie with the audience in there because it hits differently when you watch it with an audience.
One of the central themes of this film is family and togetherness, right? And
Mhm.
obviously your character is part of the Scott family's holiday chaos. So how does he navigate the mix of like old rivalries and family love during this holiday reunion?
He handles it like a boss. He handles it like, first of all, he has a military background. So he's used to conflict and resolve. And so he handles it in a similar fashion. He is kind of like the rock of the family. And in so many of our families, our black families, the father's not there. He's not there for either social reasons. He may have died. He may be in jail. He may have just hit and run, whatever. But often the father isn't there. This guy is there, and he is that rock. And so it gives the mom a shoulder to lean on. She's not carrying all the weight by herself. And I play a character in a TV series called Beauty in Black, and this is a father figure too. He has some sons, and he is the
He
antith
got some stuff.
he is the antithesis of this character here. Trying to use a big word because Rel was embarrassing me the other day.
You said
He was
you just
throwing out
said
these big
prophetic.
words the other
You
day.
said was the word prophetic.
He was just throwing them out, and I had to look it up while he was
Also,
talking.
he tried to embarrass me by asking me to spell it after I said it. Now that wasn't cool.
But no, I think that this character is he is such the dad that I would, that I hope that I am. And it
Mm.
wasn't for me as an actor, this wasn't so much of a stretch because this is the dad that I hope I am and the dad that I want to be.
Oh, I love that, right? Gentlemen, okay, listen, I think I have time for one more question. So it's a fun question. This question's for you both. If you both had to survive one more unexpected Scott family Christmas surprise, what would be your strategy? Would you hide, fight, or go full peacekeeper? Little Rel?
I will go full peacekeeper. Now you got me thinking about a sequel, which I think could work. Okay, now I have an idea. Thank you
Very
for
good.
as you was asking the question, like, wait a minute, sequel. Yeah,
Very
okay.
good. And you would be the peacekeeper in the sequel.
Yeah, I wonder how Richard could come back. But I think it's a all right, go ahead, talk Rico. Like
Okay, I think because I'm kind of like the peacekeeper in this one. If there were a sequel, I want to mix it up a little bit. I'd want to
Mm.
mix it up a little bit.
It'd be nice if he had a conflict
Ooh,
in whatever that is, especially
ooh,
which is
ooh,
I have now I think I got an idea.
ooh.
Okay, now that we did talk, you did look what you just started.
You
Now.
see what you started?
I'm gonna have
You
to
see what you
sit
started?
down and
Tabitha,
write.
if Tabitha watches this, girl, you got to get on that sequel script.
Almost turn the lights off. But yeah,
Right
yes,
on, gentlemen.
thank you so much for that. But thank you for that because now you got this, the light bulb
Well,
is on.
listen, holiday films are such a treasure. Audiences love holiday films. They have a special place in people's
Mhm.
hearts. And like I said earlier, we don't have enough black holiday films. So
Right.
put it in the ether. Let's keep our fingers crossed that this one
Next,
is so
next,
well
next Christmas.
received that we can get a follow-up.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Right on.